Yes, guys, welcome to the first ever episode of Bricks and Gigs. So this is going to be a podcast with myself and Rae,
Yeah.
and we want to have a laugh. This is all going to. The reason we picked the name Bricks and Gigs is because we're property investors, full-time property investors, and we've been doing it for around 6 years now.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you a bit of a background about us and tell you what we've been up to, what we've been doing, and what our future looks like. But we also want to have a laugh, which is where the gigs comes into it, because what I find, and probably the same with you, Rae, is that property can be really serious. And for us, we've never been too serious. Obviously, we're professional with what we do, but we also like to have a laugh. And I feel like that's just been lost within property.
Yeah, we want to bring back the gigs.
Yeah, we want to bring back the gigs.
Yeah.
But also what we want to do is...
Spill the proper tea.
Yes, Ray's
Spill
got that
the
slogan
proper tea.
straight in there. So what we're going to do at the start of every episode is we're going to spill the proper tea. That could be anything, right? We're going to start off with drinking a cup of tea and a cup of coffee, and we're going to do a cheers and get into some gossip, some property gossip, bring on some guests, and we're going to get a lot of value from these guests. We're going to give you a lot of value ourselves, and we're going to deep dive into the guests and what their background is and what they're up to and get some value out of them and also have a laugh with them.
Yeah.
So I feel like what we need to do, seeing as it's the first episode, is have a cheers.
cheers.
Cheers to spilling the proper tea. Cheers, Rae. So I'm not sure if you can see, but Ray's actually got juice in her cup. Look, she's pretending to blow it.
I was just
like
about
it's
to
hot. And mine is coffee, and it's a strong coffee at that, and I probably drink too much.
Before we start, though, I want to introduce you properly, Justin,
Okay.
to the podcast.
Okay, so
Because not everyone will know who you are.
Okay, that's how you want to go.
Yeah. So I would like to introduce you, and then you could maybe introduce me if you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then we can add at the end of that if we want to say anything else about ourselves.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So
go for
I
it.
would like to introduce my husband.
Oh.
Yeah, husband, Justin Rae Ingrey, 31 years old, property investor from Nottingham, Arsenal fan who I drag along to every Forest game possible in the hope he
We got
eventually
cheated
becomes a
last
Forest.
night. Arsenal got cheated last night, but carry on.
Very ambitious, very proud of you, and excited to do this podcast together.
Thank you, Rae.
That's okay.
Yeah. Is that the best you got for me?
Yeah.
Nothing else?
No.
Nothing
that's
about how funny I am?
it. Yeah, but I don't want to give you a big head on the podcast.
Okay, so I am funny. But so Rae Ingrey, I nearly said your old name then,
No.
which is my wife. We've been together for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
We actually went to big school together. Big school, is that the correct word?
Second.
We didn't go big school together. We went to high school together. High school, that's American.
Yeah, second.
Yeah, we went to secondary school together. Went through school together, and we actually got on as friends, and then we left, and then we got together.
I don't know. if
Maybe we
that's-
wasn't friends. We was friends.
I think we was friends until you asked me out on MSN. I said no, and then your little ego couldn't take it, and then you was trying to be horrible to me. To the point one day I came to school with all my hair straight, lovely. I thought, because I was a bit of a tomboy in school, and I really made the effort this day. And Justin walked past, said to a friend of his, "What has she done to her hair? It looks like she's been dragged through a hedge backwards." So I wouldn't say friends, and that stuck with me all this time.
Well, I'll be honest, I can't remember that. I don't know if it's made up or not. But what they say is you be horrible to the people you fancy.
Yeah.
And not now, as adults.
No,
if you
not-
fancy someone, you won't be horrible to
No.
them, right? Because they'll be like, what are you doing? But yeah, in school, that's what they're saying. Yeah, I probably did fancy her. That's why I was
No, you
not nice about
definitely did.
Yeah, I did fancy her. Yeah, that's why I was probably horrible about your hair. Or they probably not look nice. I was just maybe looking for attention. But yeah, we went to school together, and then got together when we was 18. And Rae then became a maths teacher. No, you done quite a lot of things actually.
Yeah, I was at uni at the start when we first started seeing each other, doing psychology, criminology. After that, I was teaching assistant at our old secondary school, and then carried on there until I became a qualified maths teacher. All the time during this, Justin was... You was an electrician. You'd gone
Yeah.
through your apprenticeship.
Yep.
You were still an apprentice when I first started seeing you.
Yeah.
So no one could say I'm a gold digger.
Ray's a gold digger. No, you think that you are a gold digger, right? No, you are, because you've seen the potential.
Oh, my,
No, you are. You seen me and you was like, this guy has got potential to make a lot of money and get me to a nice life, which has happened, right? Okay,
I'm not even responding to that. You was apprentice electrician, got your qualifications, and then was fully qualified electrician working away in London a lot on like the Olympic stadiums and those sort of big jobs.
Yeah.
And then 2018, a property journey began.
It did, yeah.
How did it begin?
Well, it began. I like this story. I just want to say, like, a lot of the viewers are going to be new viewers, so it's important we sort of like give a background on
And
this.
sorry if you've heard this before.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who would have heard this before. But yeah, I can remember exactly where it was and how it happened. So yeah, I was an electrician, wasn't happy with what I was doing, and I just knew I had this burning flame inside the pit of my stomach that was like, Justin, you're worth more. Yeah, so we was actually sat at a car wash and.
In Nottingham.
In Nottingham, getting the car washed, and it was a Sunday evening, and we both had the Sunday blues, and then when we had to go work on the Monday, and none of us was up there. And you said,
I'm sure it was just after the 6 weeks holidays.
yeah, so you was going back.
So it was that horrible, sick feeling of I've had 6 weeks off, and now I've got to go back to hell.
Yeah, and no one likes that feeling. And for me, it was just like, just living for the weekends at the time, and that's why Sunday comes around, and well, you have your Friday afternoon off, and everyone's happy, aren't they? And then Saturday's all right, and then Sunday's all right, and you wake up, and then the further through a Sunday you go, you feel worse and worse because you're like, shit, work's getting closer. I don't want to go to bed.
It's mad that you say that because when I was teaching at school, well, teaching assistant, Hayley, who was one of my good friends at teacher, and she still is now. When I was teaching assistant, I was in her class on a Friday afternoon. The kids was mental, and it was always pottery. Why would you let the kids do pottery on a Friday afternoon, year 11s? They was all mental, and me and Hayley was mental as well because we was like
Friday, everyone's happy.
so excited that it was the weekend.
Yeah, the weekend. I don't want to go too deep into this like too soon, but the weekends make you forget your dreams. Yeah, Monday comes and your motivation's high. And I found this for so long, and it was the same with me. Monday comes, the motivation's really high, and you start to think like, what can I do instead of doing this because I don't like it? What's the dream?
Yeah.
What do I start working towards? And then Friday comes, and you forget your dreams, and you're like, shit, life's
not
not too
that
bad.
Yeah.
Life's not too bad anyway. The weekend's in, my job's not too bad. And then the weekend,
Sunday night hits.
Sunday night, like shit, I got dreams again. Like, what do I do? Like, motivation super high on a Sunday and a Monday.
Well, you know that from mentees messaging.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get a lot of people wanting to know about your mentorship. For people that are listening that don't know, we do mentor people in getting a HMO portfolio and becoming financially free and getting their time back and life back. And you get a lot of people message you like Sunday evening.
Yeah. Yeah, Sunday evening comes, it's like, just
because they're thinking, I don't want to go back to work.
Yeah. And the message is always, Justin, how much is your mentorship on a Sunday night? But anyway, we're not going down that rabbit hole just yet. We will get into that. But so yeah, we sat at, how we got started was we were sat at a car wash, and Sunday was here. None of us was happy, and your dad was ill at the time.
Yeah, so Dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's when I was at uni. So he must have been diagnosed for about 5 or 6 years. And he had the option to have brain surgery, deep brain stimulation, amazing thing that can help stop your tremor for now. Like, it doesn't cure Parkinson's. And he was having that operation. So it must have been, I'm sure he had the operation on like the 12th of September. And we was having this conversation the beginning of September. So it was that I wanted to be able to spend time with him and go to hospital. And I went into the school, spoke to the head teacher, said, like, can I have time off? He said, yeah, but you've got to plan your lessons. For anyone in teaching, you'll know if you've got to plan your lessons, it's more work. You might as well just be at work. So it was at that point we was like, we've got to get out of here. Yeah,
we deserve more than this. So I actually, when we sat there and we had all of this pain, and I think pain's important anyway, because it makes people move. So we had a lot of pain, and we was looking for a way out. And I said to Rae, look, I've seen this guy on Facebook. He's really young. He's into property. And we didn't know anything about property at the time.
And we didn't know anything about him at the time.
Yeah, we didn't know. And I was a friend.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really too much of a thought, although I had tried property before and set up businesses and failed and got business partners, and business partners got rid of me because they didn't think I was bringing enough to the table. I won't say no names. Spilling the property. I'm not going to say no names, but yeah, that happened. And And I said to Ray, there's this strategy where you don't really have to put much money in and you can actually build a portfolio. So it's,
To be fair as well, I didn't really ask no questions. I just fully trusted in what you said.
yeah, agreed.
We
You
were
did.
just in that car wash, and I said, "What you just shown me? Maybe this shows I'm materialistic. I don't know, but you just showed
Someone's
me
car.
Jack's
Handbag.
car on Facebook." And I was like, God, and he was so young.
Yeah, he was.
He was so young.
Yeah, he was young. And
Yeah.
so I said, look, this guy's doing it and he's younger than us. What's the reason we're not doing it? And this is a big lesson for me always. I won't say lesson, but it's something I've always realised is that if I can see someone doing something, I know I can do it. There's nothing stopping me from doing something that someone else is doing. So I said to Ray, look, we're doing this. And there's actually a training course coming up in London in the next, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it was
went on
because I'd just started back at work and I can't remember if it was 1 sick day or 2 sick days off to go. I just pretended I was ill.
Yeah, and we had a couple of £1,000, yeah, and that was it. That's all we had in our savings.
Yeah.
And we couldn't afford for both of us to go on this course. We could only, so we had to make a decision. Who goes on this course? Justin or Ray? So we both sat there, had a massive discussion, and we sorted out the pros and cons.
No, we said I'm more brainy, so I should go.
The pro was Ray's quite clever. The con is Justin's not clever.
No,
so we decided that Ray was going to go on this course, and
But even that was like a massive change for us and me personally, because anyone that knows me, I don't like to do things by myself, and I am independent, but I had to drive to, was it London?
Yeah.
I drove to London by myself. I can't even read a sat nav. I don't know how I got there. Drove to London by myself, slept over, made friends. Like I've had the same friends since I was 11 years old. I mean, even you, I've known you since I was 11. I don't meet or make new friends.
yeah. That's true. So it was a big leap of faith.
It was a big thing for both of us.
And it was scary. And I think the scariest thing for me was actually the money. Like putting a couple of £1,000 into something.
It weren't even that. I'm sure it was 1,600.
Yeah. So that was it.
Yeah. It
Really?
weren't even £2,000 because you've said.
So that's all we had.
You've said 2,000 before, and I thought it weren't that much.
Wow. So
Yeah.
So we didn't have much savings at all because I know it all went on that. And yeah, you went down to that course. We'd paid that, and it was scary because that's all we had. And you came back and taught me everything about what you'd learned on that course.
I remember coming back.
Yeah.
I can remember you were sat on the sofa. I come through. It was dark in the living room. I don't know why. I can remember that. And I came back and I was talking through all my notes, and I was absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, you was, weren't you?
Yeah.
Never seen you like that before.
Yeah, I was really buzzing.
Yeah. And that was excitement, right? And
Yeah.
it's important to like keep that up and keep anchoring like emotions and feelings when you feel like that, because that can spur you on sometimes. So yeah, we went on this course, and very quickly from going on to the rent to HMO course, by the way, it was, we took 2 properties on more or less straight away. Took a leap of faith again, viewed 2 properties which didn't work. They worked, but we made them work. But there was really bad properties to take on.
Yeah, they was probably the worst 2 rent to HMOs we could have taken on. But for people listening, why we chose rent to HMO to start might be a good thing to talk about, because for us, like Justin just said, we had no money.
No.
So for us, it was what you hear all the time still now. Oh, low cash import, you don't really need no knowledge.
Low entry point.
Low
very
entry
low,
point, yeah. You can do it quite quickly, you can get out your jobs. And all we was fixating on was leave our job, leave our job, leave our job, leave our job.
Yeah.
So that's why we did rent to HMO. If we was to do it all again, would we still do that? I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe.
No.
I mean,
I don't know. I think we learnt a lot. Them first 2 deals, when I say that one first property in Nottingham, my mum, bless her, she helped us so much, didn't she? She came to that house.
Yeah.
I remember actually Hannah coming and not George. No, it was George weren't born. Hannah come in and we was all cleaning. You cleaned that house so much that it didn't look any better. It was still a shithole. There was expanding foam everywhere.
Yeah.
But that was the best property we had that made the most money.
yeah, wasn't expanding foam holding the front door on? It wasn't too far off that, right? It was so bad.
Oh, it was the worst
But
property.
when we viewed it, it looked really bad. It didn't look as bad when we
had
first
our eyes
viewed it.
shut.
Yeah, we had our eyes shut and was just so excited talking to the agent and was like, I think we was both walking around thinking, are we property investors?
Yeah, we
Now we're viewing a property, like, are we property investors?
just thought, oh, this agent's going to say yeah. So they could show us a literal crack den and we'd have took it.
To be fair, I'm sure when we viewed it, there was someone in there taking drugs in the corner. No, there wasn't. But it wouldn't surprise me if we wouldn't have seen them anyway. They could have been. Yeah, they could have been. You never know. But yeah, so we made them work, right? And I think that's the most important part. We went in with both feet. We spent a lot of money on a course. Well, what was a lot of money towards them?
And we didn't give up, even though they were so hard.
We didn't give up.
A lot of people would, and we know people that have.
Yeah, but we are going to get into that in a second.
Getting excited.
So yeah, we made it work. And it was exciting. And we took these 2 properties on, and that gave us enough cash flow for Rae to quit a job. Now, the next step of this was we took on a couple more in pretty quick succession, but we had no support around us. Now, this is massive. You need, in my opinion, a community of people around you which are on the same mission. And what I mean by mission is a mission of improvement, self-development, and wanting to strive for more.
Yeah, because, sorry to interrupt, but when we didn't have that, that was probably the worst time of my life.
So,
and I'm not exaggerating.
Oh,
I was in such a horrible place.
But we was in that position where it was a lonely, right? Because all of our family thought we was crazy.
Yeah.
All of our family thought, why don't you just stay at a job?
Yeah. I spoke to Mum about that only the other day, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was when I was listening to your the Lion Mind podcast. I said to Mum, what did you think? She went, I honestly thought you'd both lost the plot, but I was never going to say it because I wanted to support you doing what you was doing.
Oh,
so
man.
she thought we'd
That's giving me goosebumps.
Has it really?
Yeah, honestly.
Aww.
Because it's a story of life.
Yeah.
Like, you go into something like this, and because everyone's programmed to do the same thing, you go to do something a little bit different, and everyone thinks you've lost your mind.
Yeah.
When the only thing you're trying to do is just achieve more and go for your dreams. Now, there's nothing wrong with people thinking you've lost your mind. That's fine. And it's nothing against them. But it's just the uphill struggle that you have to go through when everyone thinks you're crazy. It's like the burning house, right?
Yeah.
You're in a burning house and everything around you is burning. You've got your eye on one thing and it's only you going towards it. I've just made that up. I don't think I've ever heard the burning house saying before, but I think it sounds pretty good.
I switched off as well. When
Yeah, I thought so.
Don't know what you said.
But anyway, let's get back to it. So we quickly took on 4, 5, or 6, and we had no community around us, and it was hard. We had no support. Our family thought we was nuts, and I think it's important to say this. And I hope you don't mind me saying.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah,
bore off. You say it all the time.
Yeah, because it's so important.
That's what you're going to say.
No.
I know where I was when I said that.
Yeah, in bed.
Yeah, crying.
Yeah, so the story was, we was going through all of this hard times. I was still at work. Rae was grafting throughout the day, talking to agents and taking on properties and getting tenants and sorting out maintenance. And I'll be honest, she was taking most of the workload. I was being really hard on her because I was just so driven, focused, and wanting to push forward as quick as we can that I was being hard on Rae.
But that's something I want to touch on later because someone asked that question because that will answer
So I was getting back from work, not knowing what you had done throughout the day, and I would see you sat there having a cup of tea, chilling out, and I'd get back and I'd be like, Rae, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, you felt like
drinking a cup of tea.
I dare you.
Get to work. No, I wasn't that bad.
You better work, bitch.
No, I wasn't that bad, but like I know now I was being really hard on you.
Yeah, because not you made me feel, because it was my own feelings, but I felt so guilty if I even like left the house between the hours of 9 and 4. Because that's what I was used to working 9 till 4 at a school.
Yeah. And if you would have left at that time, I would have been sat on the street in my van watching you.
Probably.
Yeah, saying get back. So yes, Rae went through all of this stress because I was like piling a lot of pressure on her, admittedly, and I didn't know I was doing it at the time, but I was just so driven because I knew what we could achieve. I knew our potential, and I knew we had to give it 100%, and I didn't see. At the time, I didn't see you giving it 100%, but now knowing like what's involved in the work, now I know you was, and I was just being too harsh.
And I think you was in that mindset, and I was in that mindset, that to make money, you've got to be working from 9 in the morning till 5 at night. You've got to have a lunch break at a certain time. Whereas now...
It's good to have routine, though.
Yeah. Oh, it's very good to have routine. And I didn't have that then.
Yeah.
But now we know how each other works.
Yeah.
And you know that I can crack on and do all my work in 4 hours, work 9 till 12.
Agreed.
But back then, we didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, agreed.
So what did I say? And
so what?
Get over and done
with. So what had happened is I was being really hard on Rae, and I was too much, and I have said sorry since, and I said sorry at the time, but I can remember we got to bed, and Rae was crying, because it had just got too much, and Rae actually rolled over in bed, and we was having like a bit of a heart to heart, and Rae said, "Justin, I want to make this as dramatic as possible because this is what happened. Just imagine the scene. I'm there, like Ray's like, Justin, this is your dream. This is not mine.
Which was true.
I'm going back to work.
I can't remember saying the end
You
bit.
did. I promise you.
God forbid.
Yeah, I promise you.
I used to want it to bath
So
in
the
petrol
words
on a
was,
Sunday night.
Justin, this is your dream. This isn't mine.
But that was
I'm
true.
going back to work. Yeah, so them words I want written. I will never forget them words, and I will never forget that conversation because I feel like so many people go through that and go back to work.
But I'm so grateful that I had you, because if I didn't, I would have been one of those people that have
Started, got a
and
little
give
bit
up.
of success. Soon as a bit of hard time comes, they forget why they're doing it and they go straight back to what they was doing
but
before.
I think the problem that I had, and I know a lot of people have these problems, is I was not working on my mind. I was not working on my mindset. I wasn't doing anything like that.
Yeah.
So for me, every little thing, and my personality type is, I need to be in control. So for me, when I was teaching, I was in control. I planned the lessons. I knew how the kids was going to behave. I could remove children that wasn't good for that environment. But if a tenant messaged me and they was pissed off and an agent and it was stuff out of my control, that it made me so anxious, and it still does now. And I think that's just my personality.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so a little bit of anxiety coming into it.
I was so anxious.
And it was tough, and stress comes and turbulence comes, but when you said, Justin, this is your dream and not mine, I was like, it felt like a dagger to my heart.
Did
because
it really?
Yeah, of course it did, because I was thinking, we just need to push through this.
Yeah, and
because I know
we
what's on
did.
the other side of it.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, nowadays when Ray's got my bank card and she's booking £15,000 holidays to Dubai, I look at her and I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, this is my dream. Give me back my card. Yeah. Go back to wherever because you said it wasn't your dream. So anyway, we got through that.
Yeah.
And we built. We carried on. We joined a community of other property investors, which really, really helped us. We needed it at the time.
We did.
And we got some coaching.
Yeah.
And it was more like life coaching, I would say, rather than like a mentorship.
Which I think we needed at the time as well.
100% we needed, yeah. So our coach at the time, Claudine, she done so much for us. And
Came to our wedding.
Came to our wedding, yeah. We're really, really grateful for what she done for us because who knows what position we'd be in if it wasn't for her.
Yeah.
So we quickly built a rent-to-rent portfolio, which within 2 years, and I think it consisted of around 17 houses at the most at one point.
I think it was 17 HMOs, 1 SA.
Yeah, 1 SA unit.
Which we managed fully.
Yeah, so we managed the whole portfolio, and then we built that up, and a lot of the growth came through COVID.
It did, yeah. Another thing where I was like
a
nervous wreck, panicking, because...
this is the thing.
No, but Justin, shut up. You need to remember at the time, I was managing that rent-to-rent portfolio solely.
Yeah, but I'm just...
Listen, I haven't finished. I was managing all that on my own. For whatever stupid reason, I'd decided that all the tenants would have WhatsApp groups. So my phone, that first week of COVID, was blowing up. I'm leaving, hand in my notice. I'm leaving. In my head, it's my job to have their rooms filled so we've got cash flow. We've got to be able to pay this landlord. So we lost like 50% of our tenants, and I had to refill those rooms during COVID, when nobody wanted to move and when I wasn't allowed to let people move.
Yeah. So I think
and you was saying, let's get more properties.
Yeah, so I think there's a bit of a common theme here.
You're the grower.
I'm the grower.
Not true.
You know? Yeah, it is. So when times get tough, it's so important to have someone there because let's be honest.
Tough times never last.
Tough people do.
So if you ask me for an inspirational quote, there it is, Sonny.
Thank you, yeah, I was going to ask you as well. So I think the thing is here, like, let's be honest, women are more emotional than men.
Yeah, I think that's fact.
and I feel like when times do get tough and turbulence comes and stress comes and it's really high pressure, emotions are high, right? And when emotions are high, what's low?
Intelligence.
Thank you, Rae, because I actually forgot that, so it's a good job you remembered. So intelligence is low. So at the time, we had a lot of these tenants leaving, and like you was panicking. In fact, we was both panicking. I was just panicking inside because I can't show stress in our relationship. I can't show when pressure's on top. I can't show when...
Well, you can now.
No, I can't.
No, you do. You do say now, oh, I've been feeling a bit stressed, or I notice it in you.
Yeah,
but back then, I think you hid it well because you knew I would.
Yeah, I think men do as on a whole.
But they shouldn't need to do
that. No, but men do, because especially when you're in a relationship, because if I show that I'm stressed and I'm like not feeling good or whatever it is, it's going to show on you, and that I've kind of got to protect that energy. So at the time, you was really panicking and I was panicking, but I was like I seen an opportunity, massive opportunity. COVID came, all the tenants left. We was in massive pain. So at the back of my mind, I was thinking, if we're in pain, who else is in pain? These landlords who have got HMOs, let's go hell for leather.
Yeah.
And we did. And we made the most of COVID. That's when our business grew by more than 100%.
Well, it meant you left your job.
I left my job. I was kind of forced because COVID came, but
It was the first properties we bought was in COVID.
first properties we brought was in COVID.
And everyone was saying, oh, no, don't buy now. We don't know what's going to happen. Wait.
Yep. So we grew like a portfolio to 17 renter HMOs because we downloaded the HMO public register and sent all of these landlords that we knew was in pain a letter. And we touched on the nerve that we knew was there.
Because we had that nerve.
Yeah, we had that nerve. We had that pain. Are your tenants leaving?
Yeah.
Let us manage it.
Yeah.
Let us manage it and take away this pain. And we had so much growth then. So through lockdown, we grew to 17 renter HMOs, which we've still got our portfolio and we have it.
We've got about 13 now, I think.
Yeah, 13 now, which is managed by a virtual assistant who makes it totally hands-off for us.
Mavs, bless her, amazing.
Yeah, and then we started purchasing. So at the start of lockdown, we started purchasing. We formed a JV partnership with some business partners who are now our really good friends.
Yeah,
Paul and Christina. And
going away with them this year.
yeah, and we built a respectable portfolio with them, and we still continue to grow that portfolio. And they was bringing the cash into our company,
Yeah.
and they was allowing us to do everything else. So they was the cash injection. We was finding normal
They
houses.
trusted us a lot, really, because
us
we
loads,
didn't
yeah.
have no experience in purchasing properties at that point.
Yeah, but they seen our potential.
Yeah.
And they allowed us to do what we was good at, which was finding houses, taking it through the conveyancing, taking it through the build and project managing, and then taking it through refinance, and then you deal with the ongoing lettings after.
Yeah.
When I say ongoing lettings, I mean a letting agent. And they just put in the cash, we recycle the cash and give it back to them, and that's worked really well. So then we done that, and we built a pretty respectable portfolio with them, and then we started purchasing our own a couple of years ago, and started buying just our own HMOs, just me and you, started raising investor funds, and we seen a big opportunity, right? Because we had a lot of people on our social media that we knew had money, and we knew it was just sat there,
Yeah.
and it wasn't earning them anything.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's nice to be able to, now we've got a lot of family members that invest with us,
Yeah.
as well as friends, people we don't know, people have social media. But it's so nice, especially when it's family and people we know, be able to give them interest and see
Yeah.
them. Like one of our cousins, they invested and we paid for their holidays every quarter. It's really nice to be able to do that now.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Because we know that inflation is eating their money in the
Yeah.
bank, and most people don't even know that. So to be able to educate them on that and be able to earn them a passive income, while we do the hard work, by the way, is really good.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of investors on board, and we're
I think we've
really
got about 30 now, haven't we?
yeah, between 30 and 40, I think, and we're really grateful for them. And most of that has been raised through social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, we still got the rent-to-rent portfolio. We've grew our own portfolio and our business portfolio to over £7 million in GDV.
What have we got currently happening in the pipeline?
Currently we've got 7 refurbs on the go.
What's the most exciting one?
The most exciting one is our own house that we're
Yeah.
building, and it's inspiring for me. Honestly, it is, because we've been talking about it for years, and I think where we're from, we're not. What's the word? We're not expected, in my opinion, to be able to afford a house like that and live in an area like that. And I don't think many people are able to do that. So I'm super grateful,
Yeah.
and it inspires me every time I pull up to the house and I look at it and I'm like,
Yeah, get that nice, excited
yeah,
feeling. in your
yeah. I'm
stomach,
like, this
yeah.
is what we've been able to achieve by me convincing Rae that it wasn't just my dream, it was also hers, which is true, right?
For you guys listening that don't know about the story of a Von House, follow me on Instagram.
Plug.
No, but it was my non and granddad's home.
Yeah.
They lived in there forever. My dad and his brothers and sister lived there. I grew up there. Me and my brother had the most amazing summers there. When I think about that house, it was just full of happy memories. And we had the option to buy it. And it was like, oh my God, we are 100% buying this house. And we just can't wait to have George and Nolan, niece and nephew there. It's just so exciting for us, isn't it?
Yeah. So I can't wait to move in there, which is going to be in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, what else we got in the pipeline?
So in the pipeline, we've got that house and we've got 6 HMOs in refurb. So what I mean by HMOs is we find normal houses and we convert them into HMOs. But what we also, and we use commercial valuations. So we buy houses pretty cheap. We force the value up through rental income. Then we get a commercial valuation. So we refinance really high, pull all the money out that we put in and recycle it and go again. We don't just do it on... we don't just do it under permitted development rights, so we don't just do it outside of Article 4 because we operate in Nottingham and Nottingham's got Article 4.
All
and
over.
Yeah, all over, and they're really strict. So we actually buy up and running HMOs. We sometimes get the planning through on HMOs, and one of the exciting ones for me at the minute is an 8-bedroom that we're doing. So we got brought a property in Nottingham in a really lucrative area, very good for students, very good for professionals, and...
Very good for families.
Very
like
good
it's
for families.
an area a lot of people want to
Yeah,
live
yeah,
in.
it's a really nice area, and we got brought this deal, and it had Serco in there, and it had no planning permission. It was being run unlawfully,
Yeah.
and we had to get a certificate of lawful use. And then what we done was we put in the planning permission to turn it into an 8-bedroom HMO. So we had to go to committee, which again is another funny story. We'll probably share another time. I don't think we've got time today. So that one was really exciting for me because of the stages of planning that we've had to go through.
Yeah. I think it's exciting because we've not got a JV partner on that one.
Yep.
And it's a big HMO,
Yeah.
amazing area.
Yeah.
And we know we're going to hold it for a long, long time together.
Yeah, long time. And we also own a hotel on the same road, a couple of doors down, which it was a lease option a couple of years ago
Yeah.
through lockdown. And
With a very good business
very good
partner,
business partner of ours, who's actually was a mentor as well, and we've learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll get him on the podcast as well to share some of his wisdom because he's probably one of the most clued up investors I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
massively. So, yeah,
And
that was exciting.
Yeah, it would be nice to get him on actually because of his relationship with his partner as well, who's in business.
Yeah, get some value out of him.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what we've currently got in build. We've got a few refinancing as well. We've got four in conveyancing.
Yeah, 4 in conveyancing.
Yeah, 3 HMOs and then a standard buy-to-let. And
then we'll be renting out our current home as well.
renting out our current
So that will
home.
be our first
buy-to-let.
buy-to-let,
Yeah,
normal buy-to-let.
Yeah, only done HMOs.
Yeah.
So we jumped to the hard strategy and made it
away.
work. Yeah. So the goal this year, I think it's important to say before we get onto some of the questions and stuff that Rae's got, is we want between 10 and 15 HMOs. And
We're on track for that.
we're absolutely on track. And the key to being on track is knowing you're on track. And the only how you're going to know you're on track is if you actually set that goal, the 1-year goal, and then break it down over quarters and then analyze at the end of the quarter and set weekly goals and stuff like this. So it's important to know that you're actually on track because if it wasn't checking all of that and checking like where the progress that we're making, then we wouldn't know whether we was or not.
Yeah, and I've got you to thank for that because you really enjoyed doing that and keeping us on track and writing it down, putting it on the boards.
Yeah.
And going through it.
Yeah, I think it's important to say I'm the grower.
Yeah, you are the grower.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is you clean everything up behind me.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes...
That's sort of someone's question.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's the question? Well, let's get into it.
Okay, shall we start with Q&A with Justin and Rae?
Q&A with Justin and Rae. That's going to be a theme as well. So we're going to put on our social media before these podcasts. What's your questions? And we want to go through them.
Yeah, so this was on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And I just put, has anyone got any questions for our first podcast? So I've got a few. I'm going to ask you, and then I'll just jump in every now and again because I just don't want to waffle on. So first question was from our very, very, very good friend Jade.
Yeah, yes, Jade.
She has said, what's it like living together and working together? Best and worst parts?
Wow. Okay, so can I go first? Or do you want to go first?
No, you can just answer and I'll just jump in every now and again.
Right, okay. So for me, the worst part, I want to start with that.
End on a high.
Yeah, end on a high. So the worst part for me is probably...
Be nice.
Yeah, obviously, do you have to tell me to be nice? Of course I'm going to be nice.
Okay.
So the worst part for me is trying to split the business and relationship dynamic. And You know me, right? I've got proper. I live and breathe proper. It's on my game. It's on my mind 24/7. So sometimes when we're trying to relax, and I'll get in bed at 9:30 at night, and Ray's already in bed because I've just come from the office from doing whatever I'm doing, and Ray's like half asleep, one eye open.
One eye
You're
open
open
when
when
I'm
I'm sleeping. So with one eye open, and I'll get in bed and I say, "Oh, Ray, what's going on with that refinance?"
Yeah, that's
and then you
annoying.
just spin over and say, "Justin, piss off."
Yeah.
So I'd say that's the worst part, trying to split that dynamic.
Yeah, agreed.
And the best part is,
The best part of it, living and working together.
yeah, living and working together. So the best part is being able to spend a lot of time together. I actually quite like that. And I know a lot of men try and get away from their wives and girlfriends and try find time to get away from that. And I do sometimes, I'll be honest.
Yeah, go golf.
Yeah. When I go golf and wallet people, like I'm actually on that course and I'm thinking, I'm glad Ray's not here. I've got a bit of time to myself, but I really enjoy spending time with
Yeah,
her.
we do a lot of stuff together. Like if Justin's got a barber's appointment,
Ray will
he'll
come.
say, no, don't say Ray will come. You will say, it's a mission, come with me. And then leave me sat in the car for an hour.
Yeah, we do a lot together because we have a laugh.
Yeah, I will say the best thing about working together, I think, is having somebody there that can do things you don't like doing and vice versa.
Right.
So that was like what you touched on earlier when we were saying I was very anxious at the time. We soon worked out that I don't like ringing agents, looking for deals, doing that sort of thing. And I still don't do that now in the business. And you don't like dealing with solicitors and being organised and everything else. And you know what I mean? So that's my best part.
Yeah, okay.
We are very clear now on roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we work well together because of
agree.
that.
I agree.
But we have to go through the shit to get there.
Yeah.
This is a good question. This is from Sean, who hopefully will...
Sean Kachong?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or Kaching.
Sean's a good guy. I'm going to get Sean on, by the way.
Yeah, if he would like to come on the podcast. What is your 20-year goal and what does it look like? Before you answer this,
Yeah.
I just want to say something. Me and Justin went on a retreat with San Riano for Freedom Warriors last September. We're going on it again this year. And a part of that was we went off together and he asked us to, and it was on Arches.
Yeah.
Arches retreat that we went to. We had to write our 20-year goals. We sat next to each other, didn't look, and then afterwards we read our vision of what 20 years would look like, and both of ours was almost identical.
Yeah.
And I think that's why as well we work well together.
Yeah, I agree. So
In tune, in
yeah,
sync.
yeah. So for me, it's hard to set like a 20-year goal. I don't call a 20-year goal a goal. I call it the 20-year vision.
Vision. Okay,
Yeah.
so what's the
And
20-year
what
vision
my
look
life
like?
actually looks like. So my life in 20 years looks like I'm single. No. So we've got a family for a start because we've currently got no kids. So we've got like quite a few kids around us and maybe even grandkids by then.
Sure.
Right? Maybe.
No.
20 years time, Ray. They'll be 20.
They'll be 20.
Well, if we have them in 2 years time, they'll be 18.
No, so they won't have children then.
Okay. So we'll be parents and we'll have a really...
Old parents.
Old parents, yeah. We'll have a really close family and we will be living in a house that we've built ourselves in I wouldn't say in the middle of nowhere, but in a village where there's a lot of land around it and we can have a lot of fun and we've got like a swimming pool in our house and we're basically living the life we've always wanted in terms of being in the UK.
Yeah. Created the hosting house I always think the hosting house where our kids bring their friends.
Yeah.
Our house is that house.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Because that was my house
Yeah,
growing up.
so cool. Because
Yeah.
then you can scare them and stuff.
Yeah,
Like when they're trying to get sleep, jump in and make them jump.
bit weird.
Okay. So anyway, the rest of the 20-year vision is being able to travel anywhere in the world with whoever we want for however we want. And for me, giving all of our family the experience that they've never been able to have before. Like my dad, I would love to take my dad to so many places. He's currently working. One of my goals is to retire him and take him to places that he's probably never been able to go to and spend that time with him. And that's a big one for me. And taking everyone away, taking everyone abroad, having a holiday home where we spend a lot of the time there, maybe Dubai. So yeah, that's mine. I think you're pretty similar, aren't you?
Yeah, very, very, very similar. I think mine's very much family as yours is.
Yeah.
We've took our family away that was one of our big goals when we first started, was to
We've
be
done it
able
a few
to,
times now, haven't we?
I think we've only paid, oh no, we've done it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a big goal for us to start with, take our family all away. I would love, my ultimate would be like all the family, business class. We go on like some mad safari. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Although George and Nola, our niece and nephew, literally cried the other day when I said I was going to take them to a drive-through
Okay.
safari.
So I've got a question for you now.
Oh God, on the spot.
Yeah. So if you were on this safari, you go on one of them cars, right? And
Yeah.
like you're surrounded by lions and tigers and stuff. If the car was too heavy because it was running out of petrol, who's the first family member you would throw out?
Oh my God.
Yeah. This is hard.
Can it be myself?
No.
Who's the family? My mum, dad
Well,
are close.
whoever you'd want to take.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who's the oldest that don't have much life left.
You're sad. No, you're
Oh,
sad.
I couldn't. We'd all have to go.
No. You're running out of fuel. You got to throw someone off.
Who would you pick? Don't say it. Don't answer. I'm moving on.
Do you
Don't
know
say
who I'd
it.
pick?
No, I do. Don't say it. So we've had another question
Yeah.
from Hannah, our sister-in-law,
Yeah.
Hannah Banahan. If you had your time over again, what would you do differently and why?
Wow. What does she mean by your time over again?
Your life.
All my life.
Yeah. So this could be property related, business related, personal.
Yeah. Okay. So I would start business earlier because what business gives you, which is the freedom, I could have sooner.
Yeah.
And have them moments that we've just explained with our family and take them away and give everyone freedom as well. So I would start business sooner because I know what can be achieved in such a short amount of time. So I think that would be it from me.
Yeah.
Just start a
I
little
thought
sooner
you'd say
than
that.
start a little sooner than what we did.
Yeah.
What would yours be?
I think probably the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if I could go back, I'd have worked a lot more on my mindset, and even when I was teaching. Because I think when you're in a corporate job, that's not a thing.
No.
But if I had been working,
robots.
yeah, if I had been doing all of that, it would have been a lot easier when we first started.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. So this is the last question before I ask you something. So if you had 30K, this was from Sarah Murphy, a nice surname,
Yeah.
Sarah. If you had 30K to start with, what would you do? So if you're starting again
Thank you,
and you had
Sarah.
30K,
Good question. Yeah.
wish we had that much when we first started.
Yeah, we didn't have that when we first started. We had £1,600 apparently. So the first thing I would do is invest in myself. That's the first thing, in my opinion, everyone should do. If you're starting off with £30,000, you've got to build the knowledge around what it is you actually want to do, because that £30,000 can be reinvested, or there's so many ways to buy properties without having to need that pot. So I would invest in myself. I would find out what strategy it is I want to do, which suits my lifestyle. A lot of people now are doing HMOs like us because they want the cash flow to be able to do it full time. So if you know you want to get into HMOs because if you want the cash flow, then I would find a course and I would go on a training and I'd make sure I get my knowledge up around that strategy. And then I would find a mentor. I would find a mentor who's 5 years ahead of where we are. And I would say, here's my money. Get me to where you've got to. You've trodden the path. I ain't got to create my own. I want to get to where you are. And that's what I would do, because what you quickly realize when you are in property is you don't need your own money to build a portfolio and build up that cash pot. But what you have got to be good at is raising funds. So you've got to know how to raise funds really well. And I feel like this is something me and you are pretty good at, because we're quite relatable, we're open, we're transparent, and we're trustworthy, and we do what we say and say what we do, right? So that's what I would do. The first investment I'd make is in myself.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't want to invest in themselves. I remember when we just paid for that course at the beginning of our journey, and my dad especially was like, what are you paying that money for? I think your dad said something similar.
Yeah.
Why are you paying someone? You can learn it on YouTube, you can get books, you can do this. But, and you said this on a reel earlier, that you pay for a university course.
Yeah.
I've paid and still pay now for a university degree, which I've never used.
But what you learned from that degree was to work for someone. That's the problem. You go to like this further education, and most of the time they're saying to you, look, this is how you become an employee. In my opinion, that's not the way to go. So a lot of people are afraid to invest in themselves. And here's the thing: if you can't invest in yourself, how
Why
can
would
you
anyone
expect
else?
anyone
Yeah.
else to invest in you? Because when you invest in yourself, you're taking a bet, you're taking a gamble, but you're gambling on yourself. So you got to bet on yourself every single time and take the leap.
Okay, well, I was going to do like an agony aunt section, but I think I'm going to save that for next time.
Yeah, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So I'd like to finish off then.
Oh, already? Is it gone?
It's
Done
gone
already?
that quick, yeah.
Wow, I've enjoyed this.
There's still two things,
Right,
but
okay.
to finish off, because I think we've both got a story for this. What is the funniest thing you've come across in a HMO?
Wow, I know what yours is, and I don't want to say the same. So I've not actually came across anything too
No.
funny. Oh, in fact, I'm going to tell that story.
Not my story.
No, I'm
Not
going
the
to
bag story.
No, I'm going to tell my story.
Okay, go on then.
And I don't actually know if I should do this. Can I get in trouble?
No.
Are you sure?
We haven't even got the house no more.
Right, okay. But I don't know. I'm going to tone it down a bit. So
Don't just say it.
no, it's naughty.
It isn't that bad. I hope you're thinking it's saying the same one.
Right, we had a house, a HMO, a rent a HMO in West Bridgeford,
West
Nottingham. Is this the same story as you was thinking? And you think I can tell the whole story?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So
Just don't mention no names.
we had the house for 2 days. Well, we had it longer than 2 days, but we had tenants move in for 2 days. That's it, because we'd done a little bit of work on the house and we'd done it up and we got it ready for tenants and we quickly got it tenanted. And then this room number 1, we rented to a nurse. And she worked at the QMC in Nottingham. Now, she was in there a day and she messaged us and said, my TV's not working, the aerial's not working. So I was a maintenance man at the time. I was quite handy. Yeah, wasn't I, Rae?
Yeah, you
I was quite handy. And so I went into the room and she wasn't in there. But what I seen on the side was a little bullet. And this is just like a little dildo thing. And I'm thinking, this is strange. She's only been in there a day.
And it was on the side.
And it was on the
Knowing you was
side.
coming. That's what
Yeah, and she knew I was coming. So I was already like on the back foot a little bit. But then as I was sat on her bed, because the TV was at the bottom of her bed, tuning it in. And then I seen these straps around like the corners of the bed. And then I thought, are they what I think they are? Is this woman into bondage? Because she's only been here a day. Has she been cracking
She'd
on already?
set up straight away.
Yeah, she'd set up straight away. So,
Oh, this is where it gets
this
naughty.
is. Can we get done?
No.
Okay, so on her side as well, right? It was behind the curtain. I seen a gag ball, yeah, and the gag ball was like a little ball and like a thing where you strap it around your face, and I'd never seen it before. And I just want to throw this out there. I promise you, I was not looking around this room, but it was all on show. And she had this gag ball,
What did you do with it?
so I put it in.
In
in
your
my
mouth?
mouth. Yeah, in my mouth. That's the only place it goes. You don't go in your bum.
No, you don't know where she's been rubbing it.
No, so I put this gag ball in. And
Took a selfie.
I took a selfie.
Laying on her bed.
And I sent it to Rae. Now, I was young at the time. I wouldn't do that now because I would say that's...
Definitely
No,
would
I would
do
not
it
do
now.
that. I would not do that now. And I sent the picture to Rae, and this has been lost. The photo has been lost. I don't know where it is. I would like to find it, and I wouldn't show anyone if I did. But that's the funniest thing I've found. And I probably shouldn't have done that. Let's be honest. It's a bit naughty. So that's mine.
She left him on show for a reason.
Yeah, not for me to put them in.
No, probably not. So my funniest thing, I didn't actually find it, but it was a Sunday, and I have none of the tenants' numbers anymore, do I, for any houses we own. But our assistant had found this tenant, so she had me on WhatsApp. She'd moved in, and she'd WhatsApp me a message on a Sunday saying, there's all this crap under the bed. I can't possibly sleep in this room. And I thought, there was a bit of a language barrier. And I thought what she meant by crap was there was drawers under the bed. So there was papers and stuff under there. She'd shown me a picture and I could just see like papers, bit of rubbish, like a delivery bag under there. And I thought that's what she meant by crap. She said, I can't, I'm staying in a hotel. And I basically said to this girl, shut up, for knowing these words.
Stop going over the top.
Stop going over the top. My cleaner will come first thing in the morning. Is the rest of the room fine? She was like, yeah, it's immaculate. I said, I'm so sorry. The cleaners must have just forgot to pull the drawers out. Just like, relax. Sorry, it'll get sorted first thing in the morning. Next day, I get a call from the letting agent. Hi, Rae, I've got your tenant from such and such in the office. I was like, oh my God, she'd been messaging me. She said she's got a human shit under the bed. And I was like, what? And then the penny dropped. When she said crap, because of the language barrier, she actually meant shit. And the funniest thing, not funny for her, but I could not believe it, it was in, for girls that shop at Pretty Little Thing, it's a bright pink delivery bag. And the last tenant, who was a professional, had took a shit in the Pretty Little Thing bag, and it was under the bed in the drawer. I don't know why this makes it worse, but there's an ensuite in the room. Why didn't she just have a poo in the ensuite?
Yeah.
Even if there's no toilet, you at least take it with you.
No, there's one explanation. She's obviously come home from somewhere and she's needed a poo and she couldn't make it home. So she pooed in the Pretty Little Thing bag.
And forgot.
We just didn't fling it anywhere.
I don't know, but it was the funniest thing ever. I could not believe I told this tenant to just get in bed and forget about it. She was laying on top of a human shit.
There's a bag of crap under my bed.
Yeah,
Whatever.
not bothered. So that was the funniest thing. But we sorted it for her. Obviously, we are good landlords.
Yeah.
So we're reaching the end, Justin, of our first podcast together.
Yeah, I think this has been. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. But I've brought you a little present.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Brought you a little present.
Okay.
That's my love language, gift giving and acts of service, as you know. And this is something that one of your mentees suggested we do at the end of every podcast.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, though. I don't know if it was your mentee, Justin, or Liam.
Okay.
So close your eyes. Oh, if I can reach it. And we're going to finish with, for everyone that knows me and Justin, we always do this. Open your eyes. Open your eyes.
Calm
You're
down.
deaf. For those of you that can't see, it is a turmeric shot
Wow.
from Starbucks.
What a gift.
But just before
The
you
gift
drink,
of health.
yeah, just before you drink that, because I don't want people to hear it going down our throats, because that really grinds my gears when people do that. Yeah. What's been your peak and pit of this week so far? So everyone in my family knows we do peak and pit normally every day or week. So we'll do what's been your pit of the week, peak of the week, best and worst.
Just very
thing.
quickly, the pit is the worst of the week, and the peak is the
my
best.
nose is really running. Sorry.
But this is actually something Rae does a lot. She says we do it like at the end of the day and we do it at the end of the week. And sometimes we'll do it on a holiday. She'll always say, let's go around the table and do the peak and pit.
And people actually take it into
yeah,
their
and
families.
it's actually really enjoyable.
Yeah.
However, what is not enjoyable is when I wake up in the morning, it's 9 o'clock, I'm eating breakfast, and Rae turns around to me and says, what's your peak and pit of the day?
I don't say that.
Yeah, no, you do. You've done it many times. And I say, Rae, my peak was opening my eyes. My pit was, I don't know, brushing my teeth, because that's all I've done.
Okay, so peak and pit of this week.
Peak and pit of this week. Okay, so I'm going to say, I always like to start off with pit, which is the worst of the week.
Yeah.
And I would say my pit has been, I nearly pooed myself in the barber chair.
Oh my God.
Didn't I?
You didn't want to tell the gag ball story, but you're happy to tell people you shit
That's
your pants.
different. No, I was ill the other day and I had a couple of mentorship calls and I had a funny stomach because Rae had cooked some salmon badly and I ate it, and that's the truth. Nearly gave me salmonella.
Salmon.
Yeah. And I was in the barber chair. I had a barber appointment and I was sweating because I was like holding it in so much and I nearly done it. So that's my pit. And my peak was, I was doing this, coming here, doing this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, doing this. This is it's been enjoyable, and I just know we're going to have some good guests on here. We're going to make it entertaining, and it's going to be very good for the viewers and listeners. So yeah, that's my peak and pit. What about you?
Nice. I would say my pits of the week so far.
You've had all week to think about this. I didn't even know the question was coming.
I know. My pit probably thinking you was going to be ill, because when you're ill, it makes me a bit nervous that I have to take control of things. So that was my pit.
So the lesson here is cook my salmon.
Yeah.
Correct. It was underdone.
No, I think it was because it was going out of date that day.
Why didn't you at least tell me this?
I don't know. And then my peak would be seeing all of our friends at the weekend.
Yeah.
We all
a good
played
laugh.
rounders
Yeah.
with their kids as well, which is always nice. And then we watched football, didn't we? So we had a really nice Sunday.
Yeah, that was a good laugh. So let's have a cheers.
So let's have a cheers.
But I want to do a cheers to the viewers and listeners, right? Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
We're going to bring
if
you
you
so
got
much...
to the end
Yeah,
and
if you got
weren't
to the end,
bored
we're
to
going to bring
death
you a lot of fun. We're going to bring you a lot of guests and a lot of value.
and spill the proper tea.
Spill the proper tea. Not that gives me the ick a little
Does
bit.
it?
Maybe a little bit.
Oh,
We'll
I really
continue.
like
No, we'll
it.
continue. But it is a bit icky.
Okay. Don't drink it on here because people don't like listening to the noise because I don't.
Yes, I do. ASMR.
Would you like us to?
Cheers, Ray.
Cheers, Justin. Go on, drink it that quick.
That's not nice. Oh, that was not nice. So for anyone listening, it was actually a turmeric shot. We get them from Starbucks a lot, and we're always shotting them. We're always saying, what is it we're grateful for and happy for? And mine is, I'm celebrating life.
Okay, let's end it there, Justin.
Right, okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening. Yeah, what I
Yeah.
want to say is anyone who's watched on YouTube or Spotify,
Oh, yeah.
please subscribe. We're trying
Like,
to get,
comment, subscribe.
yeah, we're trying to get the listeners up. We're trying to get the views up because there's a lot of value that we can give. Now, the more people who subscribe and the more people we can watch, the better the guests that we can bring to the table, and the more value that we can give out to you guys, the more questions we can answer, and the more we can have a laugh.
Yeah.
And just enjoy ourselves and bring a little bit of banter back into property.
Share the podcast, hopefully, so other people can watch it. That
Yeah,
would be really grateful
absolutely.
for that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.